Well, nobody's working today, and that's because we've come up with a bit of a challenge. So the architect and the engineer are going to have a discussion, and we'll look at what our options are. I suppose they're going to cost us money, whatever it is. But that's the way it is. These old buildings are full of unknowns, and we always knew that. So, but at the same time, you kind of hope that everything goes according to plan. But we'll see how that goes today. They're looking at the crooked wall to begin with. Oh, I wish Dan wasn't in the Netherlands this week. But that's how it goes. Someone's got to pay the bills. This is the wall that we had the issue with. And come and let me show you what we're talking about. So the problem is twofold. First issue is that we have is the bottom of this wall is crumbling. As you can see, it's filled with salts. Look at the state of that. I'll come in close. Everywhere. So I'm facing south. The new wooden beams will be running the same direction. So they'll be going in every 50 centimeters along that wall and along the wall behind me. But also on the north side of the house, there will be more beams, wooden beams, going the same way. And putting two sets of beams into this wall is going to make it highly unstable, and that is why the builder and who's the engineer and the architect had to meet to discuss, because it's a significant change to how the structure of the building is going to go and need to be agreed. So we had three options, and those were that we take this wall down. Now this wall runs the entire length of the house. It's 14 meters long. And that I didn't want to do. So it was take it down and rebuild it in concrete block. And to be honest, that was just a step too far for me. I really want the big walls. They'll help with the insulation properties of the house. Of course, not just me, but because I'm the one making the decision on the day, then that's how I came up with the thought. So that was one. Take the wall down, rebuild it. The second option was to dig again and put in more concrete footings. So the second option was to add in extra concrete footings and pillars and essentially make another beam inside this wall of concrete. And that was an option, but it was going to be possibly a lot more money because of the extra digging and things. And the third option was to build up a shuttered concrete, call it like a sandwich, on both sides of this wall, just up to the level of the floor, just up here somewhere. And essentially that'll be the ledge where the beams will rest. So that's the option we were going on, and that was that final decision was holding back on whether we could move forward with the veranda. But as it is, we're good to go with only 2 days of a hold up. Some of you have asked which way does the house face or which way is south. Well, I've come out of the house and this is south. Well, actually, this is south. So the house faces ever so slightly to the east. So it's slightly tilted to the southeast, which means it doesn't get hit by the really, really hot sun, which comes in on the west in the height of summer. The house is built in a courtyard format with small entrances. So this one, which is the one we use most, and then the other one, which I'll show you now. We've got a height issue and a width issue. That's the reason we can't bring all sorts of machinery in through the house.
Para lá para encostar. Sabe que aquilo vai fazer encostar. Agora. Embaixo essa parte tens de virar para dentro. Eu estava tanto, caralho, mas você não ouve de cozida. Ah, this area here needs a bit of weeding out before I spread some manure compost, and then it'll be good for planting in a few weeks' time.
What about a Yacon?
Are they ready yet?
Well, flowers are finished. Maybe we should try one.
Yeah, okay.
Although I'm not ready to eat Yacons.
I think we might need a bigger fork.
What's we got, Dan?
Yacons.
Oh, lots of new babies. Oh, be careful of the babies.
That's a weed.
And that's new growth. Look here.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so we need to separate the Yacons and then plant some of the buds, the little crowns, the little root.
Not sure how to. The first one.
Well, we've done it before. That's too small. That's not got a bud. I'll show you. Look, those are the little heads that grow.
Okay.
Here.
Is that a grower or a
Let me
eater?
look. Well, can you
It's
see a
got
new
like
bud? No, that's an eater. Those pink ones are the growers. All that head is... Stop bouncing it around.
Try and get
Careful.
some of the mud off, so I can see what's going on.
Okay. When Dan was in Amsterdam last week, it was Valentine's Day. Not that we do Valentine's Day. However, he didn't forget and he bought me some dahlias. He also left the price on this yellow one, which I'm not quite as keen on. I love this one, it's so showy. So I'm going to get these in the ground now. And if you're wondering what I got him, well, I did wash the coat. I've decided that I'm going to put these yellow ones, the golden scepter, in front of the slightly blue-grey cardoon. Initially I was planning on putting kind of cool colours here, the purples and the blues, but actually I find it a bit dull. And here with the beautiful, well, I mean the intensely strong sunlight that we get, you can kind of get away with what I used to call sort of the old person's mixtures of colours. The mixtures of colours do really nicely here. So I don't now get too hung up on the colour scheme. And not everything comes out at the one time. And if it really doesn't look good, we can always change it later. But according to the instructions, I have to dig these about 15 centimetres deep. So that's 6 inches. And it also says to plant them in March, but we're still in February. But they were bought in the Netherlands and this is Portugal. So you can get away with planting things much earlier here. And of course we don't have to dig up dahlias for frost. Because although we do get frosts, they don't go deep and doesn't affect the tubers. So I'm going to plant them out sitting like that. And then that's where they've cut off the growth stem. So that's quite a nice little healthy clump of tubers. They're not too big, but maybe it's not too big. I'm just checking how tall these are. Oh, it says they grow to about 90 centimetres. So about this height. I think that'll look nice here on the corner. that's kind of west over there. So we don't actually see the sunset from here, but I'm trying to create this imaginary sunset. So we've got the persimmon, which will have beautiful golden fruit. Behind me here is a lovely flame coloured orangey yellow rose. And this is where I'm going to plant that wonderful dahlia. Still can't bring myself to eat my dahlias. Oh, and this one grows to about 110 centimetres. But the soil's fabulous here. Shade is something that is absolutely crucial in this climate. And if you're trying to create shade quickly, I would highly recommend growing Cúb Galega. This is it, planted in late spring last year, and look at it. It's taller than me. And one of the wonderful things about it, it's absolutely covered in blossom. The bees absolutely love this plant, and it's mid-February, which is nice and early. All the blossoms are coming on the fruit trees, so this is an excellent pollinator attractor. I mean, it looks like a tree, and you've got all this amazing vegetation, vegetable matter to just fill your ground and create its own compost. And you can eat it, of course, just like a tree kale. And it's perennial. Not that I'm ever giving advice here, but in this occasion, this is what I would consider my top tip since moving to Portugal.
Excellent. Need to try a bit of the Yacon. Not as sweet as I remember it, but got a beautiful crunchy texture like water chestnut.